How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Clown from 2016. This is directed by Jon Watts, who would go on to direct, I believe, the new Marvel Spider-Man movies. This movie stars Lauren Allen, Andy Powers, and Peter Stormare, and as the box is quite quick to point out, is produced by Eli Roth. And I guess I should get this whole thing out of the way. It's produced by Eli Roth, but not directed by Eli Roth. But why he produced this is this movie actually came from a fake trailer. Jon Watts made a fake trailer for this movie Clown, and in the fake trailer, he credited Eli Roth as the director, just as kind of a joke. But Eli Roth saw the trailer, he liked it, and opted to actually produce this movie. So, yeah, kind of a strange career path there. Make a short trailer, get Eli Roth's attention, get to make an actual movie, yada yada yada, direct Spider-Man. Okay, that's apparently how you make it in Hollywood. Anyway, I went into this movie knowing nothing about it. I saw the cover, killer clown movie, looked like a grungy slasher, and Eli Roth. Hey, that's good enough for me. And plus, I think I saw this in like the $5 movie bin, if I remember correctly. Something like that. I found it for pretty cheap, and just kind of snatched it up. Eli Roth Clown. Yeah, why not? So I picked it up and I went in not knowing anything about it. And overall, this movie does have a good creature at the end of it, and it does have a good concept. But that being said, I really wasn't a fan of this movie's execution, and I thought it reached about like 10% of its potential, and this movie just has a lot of bad choices behind how they decided to tell the story. And I looked up a few of other people's reviews on YouTube, and a lot of people really like this movie. And if you like it, good for you. You know, you can have your own opinion. I don't care. I do want to say, I'm not, like, for those of you guys who are new to the channel, I'm not a comedy teardown channel, and I don't pick on, like, B-horror movies and just try to tear them down. That's really not me. I like horror movies, and I like a ton of bad horror movies, too. There's often a lot to like in them. It's just, I have to say my honest opinion, and I didn't like this movie very much. And I guess I should get into that. When you're going into a clown movie, what do you expect? Fun? Humor? You expect some wacky creativity, clown shenanigans, and maybe something with this picture, you expect a gory slasher maybe. But what you actually get with this movie isn't really that. No fun, no humor. And that's a terrible mistake. This movie isn't funny, and it's played straight. And sometimes when you play something ridiculous straight, it can come out even funnier, but not with this movie. It is just so incredibly dry, and here's the big thing. It's a clown movie, and this movie's main color, like when you look at the color grading, you look at the shots, you look at just what's in the camera, this movie's main color is gray. You made a gray clown movie. I don't know what happened here, but this movie is very serious and very boring. Now, a lot of the technical elements are done right. It's a clean and professional movie. The actors are doing a good job. It just ultimately feels kind of soulless for a clown movie. And I really didn't like that. This movie could have pushed so many things so much farther, but at the end of the day, it feels like a professionally made, yet soulless movie, and I really didn't like that. I guess in order to further explain, let's analyze the plot a little bit. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to explain my views on this movie. We'll go through the plot. I won't talk about the end in any great detail. Anyway, we open up, there's this couple, and they have a kid, and it's the kid's birthday. However, due to a scheduling conflict, the clown can't show up. So the wife calls her husband and says, "Bad news, we don't have a clown, what are we going to do?" And he can't find one on such short notice. However, the dad is actually a realtor, and he's cleaning up this house. It's a foreclosure because the guy died, and he's looking through the basement just trying to find stuff to make a funny clown costume when he sees a trunk in the basement, opens it up, and to his luck, or, well, not really luck, but he thinks so now, he opens the trunk and happens to find a clown costume. So he puts the clown costume on himself. He shows up to his kid's birthday as Dumbo the Clown, and his kid knows it's him, but he really is appreciative that his dad showed up and did the show for all the kids, you know. And overall, if this was a regular movie and not a horror movie, that would have been a good dad moment right there. But this is a horror movie. He passes out on the couch in his clown suit, and he wakes up and he tries to get it off, but he can't. And his wife says, "Look, I'm really busy. You have to take the kid to school," and he has to do it dressed up as a clown. Now, right in this first scene, you can tell that something's a little off with this movie because it cuts way too quick to him leaving for school. This is the morning when he notices the problem. You're supposed to really go all in this scene. You're supposed to show him struggling and trying to take the clown suit off as hard as he can, but it cuts way too quick to him leaving for school, and in turn, you're like, wait, did he try everything? Did he really not get the clown costume off? This is your moment in the script where you really had to sell your idea, and instead they decide to do that later after the school scene in one of his rental houses. But yeah, whatever. So he can't get the clown suit off. He has to go through his life. He puts on a big trench coat and a hat over it. And, you know, to see him there, trench coat, hat, big rubber nose, is kind of a cool visual. But of course, he tries everything he can do to get the clown suit off. He finds out the wig is now his real hair, and he can't cut the clown suit off. He can't get the scissors under. It won't break. It's, I guess, essentially bulletproof, which, if it wasn't stuck on you, would be kind of cool. But he can't cut the clown suit off, and his wife, who is a dentist, gets out her dental tools and, like pulling a tooth, rips the clown nose off. So she rips the nose off, and underneath on the skin, there's all the skin is ripped off that was touching where the nose was. What you think would be like, okay, that's a fun alternative red nose, is that it's a big red scar, but he has a band-aid over his nose the whole time, so you don't really get to see it. But anyway, he eventually starts to find out that he's changing. There's a bit of body horror here, but unfortunately, it's kind of just way too gradual until the full transformation. You know, there's like a scene where he sees his feet are growing bigger and he puts plastic bags over his feet, but they don't emphasize it. You know, it's like show his feet growing bigger, and then you have to have like several scenes later on where he's like awkwardly running around with his big feet, but it's not until several scenes later that we get he's put plastic bags over his feet, and it's not until several scenes later we get the close-up of that. And really, when you have something as wacky as a body horror transformation into a clown, there should be several big scenes with big transformations happening, and then repercussion scenes of him dealing with his awkward body transformation. But no, it's just kind of little things until all of a sudden we get to the finale. So yeah, that's really not good there. But he has to track down where the suit came from, and that leads him to uncovering the secret origin of all clowns, which is one of the parts in the movie I really do like, and I won't spoil it for you, but apparently clowns came from some pretty dark places, and humanity overall simply forgot. And it is a pretty fun thing. But anyway, major flaws with this movie. It's not funny, and the script is begging for humor. When you first see that he's got a clown suit stuck on him, you think, okay, bring on the humor, this is gonna be funny. No, they play it straight, and you can see the script just itching to be silly, and it really isn't. And maybe they thought, just because of the concept, oh, that's silly enough, we don't need to play into it. But no, you really do, because this script is just way too dry. And when I say make it sillier, I just want to be very clear. I don't mean throwing in dumb one-liners. Don't do that. There is other methods to humor. And when I say sillier, I mean things like Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2, Joe Dante's Gremlins. Make it silly by pushing the concept to its natural extremity. Make it silly by just embracing the fact that it's a guy in a body horror clown movie that has opportunity there. Use it, is all I'm saying. Also, the R rating. This is R, but it reaches this awkward point where it does little spikes until the ending. Little spikes that are just enough to push away the PG-13 crowd, but not really enough for the gore hounds out there. Again, when we finally get towards the end of the movie, there is a bit. But overall, most of the movie is like, oh, there's some blood, there's some vomit, and it's not enough. Again, just enough to chase away the PG-13 crowd, but until the end of the movie, not enough for the gorehounds, not enough for the hard R crowd. So yeah, this movie really needed a better sense of scale, and instead, you know, nothing, something, a whole lot. And it really needed to refine its scale. And also, another big problem with this movie is a structural problem, because the clown eats kids. And I mean, we've seen that before. Pennywise loves to eat him some kids, right? However, because the clown eats kids, and the makers of this movie aren't like psychopaths, you can't really do much. It keeps the clown from doing much, because the people who made this movie aren't crazy enough to do 90 minutes of kid murder, which obviously probably shouldn't. But because of this limiting factor, it really limits what all the clown can do. The clown eats kids, we can't show that on screen for a long period of time, and in turn, we're just not going to show as much frightening and intense sequences as we could. You know, okay, maybe the clown does eat kids, but have instances where the clown maybe wants to scare them, or instances where maybe adults get in his way more often, and towards the end of the movie, again, they do finally do more, but for most of this movie, because the clown wants something so messed up and so dark, he's not gonna do it for a large chunk of the movie, because it is messed up, but in turn, not much happens during the movie. So yeah, that little plot element really did write you into a hole there. And yeah, the clown doesn't do as much as he could. But also, clown, it really does have to be said, he has a gray clown costume. Right off the bat, it doesn't look very festive, it doesn't look very clown-like. But also, the wife rips off his nose. Major mistake. Because before, when he's trying to hide that he's a clown, but he has his big red rubber nose, okay, that's funny. But when the wife rips it off and he has this band-aid over his nose, he doesn't really look like a clown anymore. This movie's called Clown. He barely looks like a clown. He looks like a gray mess, and in turn, whenever anyone says, hey, you're a clown, in the back of my mind, I'm like, Really? You got that he was a clown? He looks like just some gray weirdo. He's a clown movie, and he doesn't really look like a clown. And, oh boy, that really bugged me. But yeah, I looked at, after I watched the movie, I did a little research, I found out about the fake trailer. In the fake trailer, he actually does look like a clown, and there actually is a better sense of levity and humor behind it. What happened between that fake trailer and getting to this movie that sucked out all the humor, sucked out all the clownness? What happened between that trailer and here that just made this movie into a boring mess? Like I said, it's shot professionally, but it doesn't get too extreme until the very end. It's a good concept, and at the end we do have fun body horror creature design, but for the most part it's just a boring, standard shot, kind of soulless movie. You know, it's just like, yeah, put the camera over here, something scary's gonna happen. Oh, hey, here's the costume guy doing a awkwardly bad fake jump scare for some reason. And it's just most of this movie until we get to the end, and even then the end's not perfect, but there is a really fun, you know those play place tubes? There's a really fun scene in one of those. But yeah, I don't know what happened, and I know a lot of other people on the internet really like this movie, and if you like it, that's fine. It's just, I couldn't get into it. This was, I mean, he barely looks like a clown. Why is this movie gray? I don't know. Not a big fan of it. I don't want to rant too hard. What happened here? Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This will probably be my clown playlist. It's kind of a younger playlist. I'm still working on it at the moment, but maybe if you're watching in the future, it might get bigger. I do have Terrifier reviewed in there, and I would definitely recommend watching Terrifier instead. Much better movie. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.